Sorry for the delay.
All right.
We're good.
It's 3:38. Call the Board of Public Works meeting together, and could we have a roll call?
Mr. Cross?
Here.
Mr. Derzinski?
Here.
Mr. Engel?
Here.
Mr. Fisher?
Excused.
Ms. Hughes?
Here.
Mr. Nash?
Here.
Mr. Sabo?
Here.
Mr. Skolnick?
Here.
Ms. Wilkins?
Here.
We have a quorum. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
From moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wilkins, seconded by Commissioner Engel to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion, concerns, changes? Seeing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Now to C, the election of officers. We're now opening the floor up for nominations for Chair of the Public Works Board.
Mr. Temporary Chairman, I'd like to nominate Mr. Marv Engel.
Marv Engel.
I would like to nominate Terry Sable as Chair of Public Works.
Support. Two nominations. Any others? Mr. Derzinski?
I'd like to nominate myself.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? None? Nominations are closed, and we need to have, I don't know how we're going to proceed here. We want to just vote individually.
I would like an opportunity before the vote to say a few things, as the other candidates might.
Okay. Before we do that, and I want to make sure should we just get a slip of paper and then have everyone write a name on as they vote, and then collect and have you do that?
Mr. Chair, can you do that without a support for the nomination?
The nominations, I don't need a support.
No. Oh, okay. Just.
Far as I know. Okay. Mr. Derzinski.
Well, I'm the senior Democrat on this board. I represent the municipalities that encompass the wastewater system, Eggleston, Moreland, and everything east. It's the biggest enterprise that Muskegon County has in the east end of this town. I've been involved with the system since 1972. I probably spend more time out there on the wastewater system for a variety of reasons than the rest of the commissioners combined. I live closest to the system, and Mr. Yeager, I think, said it best. If something goes wrong with that system, and there are issues, guess who's going to pay the price? It's going to be the commissioners from that area, as when there were terrible smells coming off of that, and that shall be me. And I believe I have the experience. I know I have the experience, and I was very disappointed in a way of a couple of the last issues regarding the system, in particular the fracking, that little piece, the way that was presented to the community. It caused me a lot of grief in my area. And then the latest issue of, can we do something different? I think we constantly have to be looking at different ways to do that. And I realize that I'm a holder, and would be a holder and not the owner of that position. And I would humbly accept the position as chairman of this board.
Thank you. Any of the other ones? Commissioner Engel?
Yes, I've been here as long as Jim has. I've been vice chair or chair for that entire period. I was a contractor, underground contractor before that, and I have a background in urban planning. I was here and helped to solve the water wars over the last 10 years. I think that we have reached a position where we are getting along much better with the members of the individual communities than we were before. And I think it's important to understand that Public Works is not just the wastewater. Public Works is not just solid waste. Public Works is not just the parks. Public Works is not just facilities management. Public Works is everything. And so to say that any one part just makes you more qualified is, I think, unusual thoughts. It means that you don't understand the system.
Thank you. Mr. Sable?
Thank you, and I'll just simply say, I don't think it's any secret that I'm probably the least experienced of those that have put in their interest in this position, but one thing that I can tell you is that I want to offer maybe some new voices and maybe some new ideas into this whole, into the whole public works sector, and I'm excited for the opportunity to potentially be able to take part in this, given the vote of my fellow commissioners.
Chairman, yeah, when you were asking on the vote, is it better, I guess one of the ways that might be interesting I would like to see whether it's a public vote or have the record recorded reflect how each of the commissioners vote, please.
It would be a public vote, yes.
So each commissioner will identify who he's voting for. Okay.
So it'd be like a roll call. And the papers pointing.
Mr. Chairman, why
Well, that
did we
worked.
get these?
Well, I was trying to proceed in a rational fashion, and this isn't rational, so it's a public vote. The vote for the commissioner chair can be a secret ballot, but this one cannot. At least that's my understanding. I need to start. Yeah, Lisa?
As a roll call.
As a roll call. And answer who you would be voting for at that time.
Commissioner Cross,
Commissioner Sable.
Commissioner Derazinski,
Commissioner Derazinski.
Commissioner Engel,
Myself.
Commissioner Hughes,
Commissioner Sable.
Commissioner Nash,
Commissioner Sable.
Commissioner Sable,
Myself.
Commissioner Skolnick,
Commissioner Engel.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Commissioner Sable.
we have 5 votes for Commissioner Sabo, 2 votes for Commissioner Engel, 1 vote for Commissioner Derazinski.
Commissioner Sable.
Okay, it appears our next order of business is going to be, first of all, I want to step back and thank my fellow commissioners that trusted me with this position. I can assure you that I'll be giving it everything I got and do the best that I possibly can. And for those that didn't vote, I hope that you're going to have the same entrustment in me over time. But anyways, moving on to the next order of business will be the election of the vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Jim Derazinski for vice chair.
Commissioner Derazinski's been nominated by Commissioner Hughes as vice chair. Are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Ben Cross.
Commissioner Cross has been nominated by Commissioner Nash. Any other nominations?
I'm not sure accepted, but I would nominate Commissioner Engel.
No, thank you. Thanks, Bob, but no.
Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Hearing none, we'll close the nominations for vice chair. And should we do the same way, the same roll call vote as we proceeded forward with the chairperson?
Or the two, Ben Cross.
Be Commissioner Derazinski and Commissioner Cross. Roll call.
Commissioner Derazinski?
Yes.
Boy, you won't.
Yeah, vice.
Commissioner Engel?
Commissioner Cross.
Commissioner Hughes?
Commissioner Derazinski.
Commissioner Nash?
Commissioner Cross.
Commissioner Sabo?
Commissioner Cross.
Commissioner Skolnick? Commissioner Wilkins?
Commissioner Cross.
Commissioner Cross?
Myself.
We have 5 votes for Commissioner Cross, 3 votes for Commissioner Derazinski.
Okay, it appears Commissioner Cross has been elected as vice chair. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The next order of business will be the election of secretary.
I'd like to nominate Dave Fisher. He's in the hospital right now, but he did contact me and say that he would serve in that position if we asked him to.
Traditionally, that's been the head of wastewater because that is someone who's on staff and available.
I still nominate Mr. Fisher.
Fisher? Okay, Mr. Fisher's been nominated by Commissioner Hughes.
Commissioner Mark. Mark is here. Yeah, we're talking about the secretary for this. Yeah, Karen. Now, Karen usually does it.
Karen is a recording secretary, she's not the board secretary.
Okay.
But Mr. Engel, that must be a member of the board, secretary.
Who does the vice chair as a?
Oh, the vice chair is who Mark is.
Vice secretary?
Vice secretary.
Vice secretary.
It would be deputy secretary.
Deputy secretary.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have, currently we still have Mr. Fisher is the only member nominated so far. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations for secretary? We'll close the nominations for secretary. And we'll do a roll call vote on that as well.
So this is just a yes, no vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Engel?
No.
Commissioner Hughes?
Yes.
Commissioner Nash?
Yes.
Commissioner Sabo?
Yes.
Commissioner Skolnick?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Cross?
Yes.
Commissioner Derazinski?
Yes.
7 yes, 1 no.
Okay, it appears Mr. Fisher has been elected as the Public Works Board Secretary. Now we'll move on to the Deputy Secretary position. Any nominations?
Karen Fisher.
Karen?
She can't do that,
No, I think there are.
Who does that
he
right now?
appoints-
Who is it right now?
I am at the moment.
But it can be someone from the board, but Karen usually does the work, right?
No.
Are we talking deputy or recording
Be
secretary?
deputy.
Deputy
I'll
Secretary.
take that back.
What is the deputy secretary for? I mean, what is In case
Warner can probably tell us.
the secretary gets killed in the line of action, then
For pretty much nothing.
well, that sounds like a job
If
for me.
something the secretary would ever need to sign and
Okay.
they were not available, but there's not much that ever needs to be signed, you can't wait for a little while.
Okay.
Usually the chairman of public works signs everything.
Okay, still,
I nominate John Warner, evidently he's comfortable with that position.
okay, Mr. Warner's been nominated for Deputy Secretary.
Doesn't it have to be a board member?
No, he said it doesn't have to
It
be.
does not.
That does not.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other nominations for Deputy Secretary? Any other nominations for Deputy Secretary? Hearing none, we have one nomination, that'll be Mr. Warner as Deputy Secretary. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Commissioner Sabo,
Yes.
Commissioner Skolnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Cross,
Yes.
Commissioner Derzinski,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel. 8 yes, 0 no.
Okay, with the vote, Mr. Warner's been elected as Deputy Secretary, Deputy Secretary. Okay, moving on to the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Cross, seconded by Commissioner Hughes. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'm saying aye. All against? The ayes have it. The next item for consideration is the permission for the sale of alcohol. Did I miss one? I'm sorry. Backing up, public comments, I'm sorry. Public comments, anyone in the audience have any public comments on an agenda item? Anything on the agenda items? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public comment and move on to the next item for consideration. And I have to get to it. The wastewater staff is seeking the Public Works Board's permission to bid the sale of the alfalfa hay tonnage.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Skolnick, seconded by Commissioner Cross. Is there any discussion?
I'm not sure. My question, it just is this, there was a fairly extensive story in the Wall Street Journal a couple of days ago about the theft of hay out west because it's gotten so expensive. Has any of that happened around here that you know?
Mark Eisenmark, Director of the Wastewater. No, that's referring to hay bales, either the large ones or the small ones. Here we just chop it and harvest it, put it inside of the truck, a big semi truck, and it's hauled right directly to the dairy facility.
They were talking about bales,
Yeah.
truckloads of it.
It has become very expensive just to feed the horses and cattle that people own one or two of.
Mark, do we have our own bid system for this, or do we use the normal state site that we have now for all our bids?
No, we have our own on this one. It's sent out to all the local dairies around our facility. And it's in the paper as well, so if there's someone that we miss, they can pick up it that way. But there's no advantage for us to go statewide on just because of the cost of hauling the alfalfa. You gotta bring the equipment in, they actually chop it, so they bring in 4 or 5 choppers, similar to a combine, 10 to 12 trucks, and they do this roughly 4 to 5 times this summer. So it's really a benefit for those who are right around our facility.
So when you say local, you're meaning just the county?
Well, those who have bid on it in the past, there's some, I want to say there's one to the north of us is right outside the county, so I'm going to say just, it's not limited to the county, it's those right outside the county as well that have bid on it in the past.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, will this require a roll call vote? No? Okay, all in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
All against? Okay, the ayes have that. The next item is, again, stand by, please. Informational items. That'll work a lot better the old-fashioned way. The Public Works Monthly Operations Report has been included in your packet, and that was for the month of December. And also the wastewater monthly operating report for December is also included. Do we need a motion to place those on file?
I make the motion that we accept and place on file.
Motion by Commissioner Cross.
Support.
Seconded by Commissioner Hughes to place the items on file. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Okay, the ayes have that. And next, old business. Is there any old business? Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I believe there's a couple major issues I'd like to see on the agenda of a future or special meeting of this board. And I think they carry a lot of could and might, and I wish you'd check with corporate counsel or administrator. You might want these to be discussed in closed session. And that's a huge account payable that's out there. And just bring us up to date on where that is. And there is a major bond issue that could have some deep ramifications, and I surely want to be brought up to date on both of those items. And because they involved other municipalities, if it is possible or advisable that this be in closed session, that is fine, but I don't think.
At a future date you're talking?
Soon, yes.
Any other old business? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to new business. Any new business?
I have, it's just a question I thought maybe Mark could answer. The sales of gas, the landfill gas is way down. Or John, maybe you could address that. I know you don't control the use of the end use of the gas, but it's disappointing.
John Warner, Public Works Department. Lately, the gas sales have been down mainly because of two things, is lack of use on the part of Sun Chemical and Eagle Alloy, and the fact that the NYMEX settlement rate at the end of each month has been extremely low over the past year. Gas is very plentiful right now, therefore very cheap. If you look in the report, the number that's presented in this month's report is artificially low because we only got a reading off of Eagle Alloy's meter. Just a couple days ago, I got the read off Sun's meter, and there was $9,200 worth of gas sales there. So that should be added into whatever was shown in this month's report. So it is coming back up a little bit. Their usage is starting to climb. But it has
So that would have been more like $15,000. Because Eagle Alloys was $6,200 or something.
Yeah, you're right. Then it would be about $15,000 total.
So the other question I had was, I got a tour of Eagle Alloy not long ago, and they're putting in some kind of a reclaiming system for the sand that they use. Does that use heat? Do they dry it?
Probably, but I honestly don't know. That's more a question for Eagle Alloy.
Okay, I was hoping they would use more.
Yes, they do use heat.
So when that is in operation, hopefully they'll use more gas. I mean, it's to their benefit too.
They don't use our gas for everything. There's certain things they can use it for and certain things they cannot use it for because it's what they call dirty gas. It's got a lot of impurities and other chemicals into it, so they can only use it for certain types of uses.
Oh.
So I don't know if
I-
drying
okay.
sand is okay for it or not, but they don't use it for everything out there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other new business? Okay, seeing none, now is the time for public comment on a new item. Any public comments on a new item? Okay, seeing none, need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Congratulations, Terry.
Thank you.
You're doing great, Kevin.